I would say that there was a sense in which maybe the full scope of the metaphysical side is not mapped out. And so rather than a misrepresentation or a misunderstanding is just maybe the missing conceptual clarity of what exactly we are talking about. I would always keep in mind that many of these concepts, we are using English translations. We're translating these concepts into English. And so sometimes they don't fully capture how we understand them here as people who practice, African traditional religions, for instance. And at the backdrop of that is, of course, the history of, renaming everything and translating everything and committing epistemological injustice in a sense that you lose some of the core philosophical ideas and understanding and meanings, certainly, that is expressed in their original languages. But, if I think about, for instance, African spirituality, I think about it in this term that there is a belief that our religious practices and ideas, they permeate through every facet of life. The mundane, the everyday. So in that sense, it's more of a general worldview and outlook of life, and that is separate from a compartmentalization that often is found, say, in the West of the sacred, secular.
There's a big difference between religion and spirituality. Religion is really the deification of certain cultural practices. Spirituality is about the interconnectedness of everything. Mm-hmm. So just the fact that it's polytheistic means that there is no clear delineation between good and bad. You recognize that there's good and bad in everything, and there's an interconnectedness in everything.
But I realize that maybe some of the people, when they say African spirituality, they're talking about specifically African traditional religions.
For most people, I'm talking about Nigeria now, practicing Christianity is safe, right? We were told that African spirituality is all about atonement. So people fear that. So before the white people came and messed up everything, people were living okay, right? Mm-hmm. You were not going to steal from somebody because Shango will fire your ass. So that's not going to happen. So there was that fear. But Christianity came and was like, oh, you can do anything. God is love. God is forgiveness. So it's safe to practice Christianity versus following Ordinary or Ifa and all of that, because you know that you have to always atone. You have to cleanse yourself.
Depending exactly on also which ethnic grouping that you come from, it may be incredibly nuanced when it comes to some of these practices and so forth. And so the application, for instance, when it comes to rituals and that sort of thing, that's undergirded by certain values and beliefs and principles, some of which I found, say, for instance, problematic. But one of the things that you see is there's some core themes and core beliefs. Some of them might include, for instance, the belief in a creator. There are some polytheistic ones, but mostly you'd find that they're monotheistic in the sense that there's a belief in a creator who's separate from creation. There is also a belief that part of creation that includes human beings, as well as the other material world, but that when human beings die, that they continue their existence into the spiritual realm. It's just a different mode of existence. And the spiritual realm, of course, it overlaps with the natural realm and has the ability to influence the natural realm, so that those who exist in the spiritual realm still play an important role and part of the natural realm. And again, I'm using these distinctions, but they're translations, so to speak. But in the spiritual realm, not only are there these personal spirit forces, but there are also impersonal forces like good luck and bad luck and blessings and curses. And the living have a relationship with the personal spirits that live in the spiritual realm. And that relationship can be defined maybe in this way, that those of us who are living, we honor, we recognize, those who've come before us, especially those who have family ties with us, those who've come from our families who've passed on. But it's more than that. We look to them for protection, we look to them for guidance, we look to them for wisdom, to remove curses. And they give us also a sense of a strong identity in terms of who we are, embedded, of course, and encoded in the memory of who they are and who they were. We also have those who play an integral part in facilitating the relationship through between the living and those who've passed on. And those would be, again, for lack of a better word, would be mediums or spiritists, or mediators might be a better term. And these people have various powers. They refer to different names in different cultures, but they've got this ability to really bridge the gap between the two worlds and communicate between the two worlds, and even can affect, I guess, some of the impersonal forces like luck, good luck, blessings, and curses in such a way that they can influence in very practical ways the lives of those who are living. I would say these are some of the core metaphysical threads that run through what we may call African traditional religions.